moon here once more. A common retreat for teams that end up losing map number 2. Haven't been seeing a whole lot of Hanamura here, although it has been known to happen.
Clone Man, pensive, trying to figure out, what am I gonna do against Panker?
I think it's a little bit darker than that. I mean, you know, Bare Hands, he's a great guy, but, you know, he did tell the XL2 team, if you lose 2 maps in a row, I'm sending you to the moon. And he's just going like, please, when will my punishment end? I didn't realize things were this serious.
Well, this was a punishment of their own choosing, because remember, it is loser's pick for the map choice. So XL2 wanted to take it here. Now, as they start off, the defense, they are going to be running gods on the Roadhog, Theresa. But take a look, Mangachu coming out with the Mei.
I like it. I think because her slow lasts longer this patch, it could be something that would stop a Windsor. In this case, they're not dealing with it. But Nene gets caught by Blase early on, one step too far. And already, XL2 Academy working at disadvantage as Ice can in fact fly. At least that's Blase off a very nice flank here, getting all the damage he wants. And his Junkrat has been standout so far.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what they were trying to do with the Mei. I think the point was to try and get onto the point, start gaining capture progress, and then wall off XL2 as they, or excuse me, wall off Legion as they try to approach, and then gain that point that way.
One thing to note, of course, as we're going through the preamble, there is no Diva being run on Legion, but this is one of the few cases where you run Orisa Hog. It's actually not too bad, and we'll see just how things work out here as XL2 going to be taking a different approach this time, to the left. Maybe.
Maybe to the left, maybe, but Nene's like, no, 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 this is my flank, get away.
I am going left, all you other plebs, you go right. And meanwhile, Corey, he's in the skies, laying in damage from the top, going for the discorded Winston, trying to take him out in the beginning, drops Pulse Bomb, doesn't connect. XL2 just desperately trying to get the point, and now Mei's in a point where she likes being, but might not be like being there for long. Tyre finds Goliath, takes him out, and the point still very much in contest here. We'll see how this Mei works out. But the Transcend is coming in from the Legion, and they're trying to flush out XL2, but not with great success. They're down 2, now 3.
Yeah, that's great. The wall off coming out, separating the teams. Gladiators, Legion, when you're split up like that, you get picked apart, and there we go. Mangachu on the hunt. Will find not a roasted pig, but a frosted pig.
Look, whatever way you get your bacon, bacon is bacon. But XL2, momentum as they move into this next point. They're not stopping.
Yeah, they're going to have a Blizzard. The point a bit larger than the diameter of it, but still, it is a great stopping point.
It's a great stopping point. They use the wall early on. They're going to drop the Blizzard, make things awfully frosty here. Barrier invested, so they are all in. He gets trapped. Panker gets taken down. Mid-air Icicles doing the job. And Panker, after he gets frosted out here, a 6-on-5 advantage for XL2 Academy. And this offensive Mei play working out pretty well indeed. And now it gets Corey with the headshot flick. Well done, Mangachu.
And there, this is going to force out a great dive coming in, but now, take a look, Mangachu, he controls all the space in the world. He stopped them from even getting in. Panker tried to jump, but the wall was in his way. He had to take for a more vertical arc, and he never made it back down.
And that's one of the things that I think is underrated a little bit about Mei. Like, okay, not only were they able to get Panker while he's in the skies, but also just for the pressure Corey was under, it wasn't just once that he got one shot, it was twice. And speaking of, we are mid-pause right now, so technical difficulties, I don't know. But if XL2 is going to extend the series, that was a good opening shot.
Yeah, you guys, I guess actually ZP, you're the one that Mei seems to crush your soul a little bit. Mangachu looks to be crushing souls in this with that offensive Mei.
But in on ice, look, I'm actually pretty excited to see the Mei there because variety is a spice of life. We have not seen Mei despite the fact that she was recently buffed, and Mangachu, definitely one of the few players in the game that has played a lot of Mei, and the XL2 is a team that can actually flex on her more often.
Yeah, we got to see all the buffs actually come to fruition there. You know, you have the increased speed of just freezing people. The ammo difference now, he got so many more shots off with his icicles, and he was connecting with every single one. I want to say he had like a 75% hit or crit accuracy with that. And so now, with a big time bank, XL2 are going to go onto the defense. 5 minutes and 25 seconds here on Horizon. This might just be one of those games where it goes 6-8. Something along those lines.
Well, with 5:25 left in the bank, XL2 Academy can feel very good about things right now. Meanwhile, the Legion, actually, This is also a map that they had trouble on before where, you know, they're not able to put Panker on the Winston every time. Not that he's bad at the other heroes, but it's less impressive. They're going to be going in with a tankier setup here. It's going to be a, let's see, it's going to be a 3-tank setup with Corey on the Widowmaker. So not quite quad tank, but still the goal here for Legion is very simple. Get a pick off and then just throw your big bodies onto the point.
Yeah, they're going to rely upon gods as that extra DPS really for them, as Blase will be on the Zarya here. One of the great things about this composition is just that they have so many synergies, right? You've got the Graviton into either a Shatter or Coalescence or even a Whole Hog. Or Whole Hog just to get everyone off the point, get them split up, and allow Corey to get targets.
Well, you hit on the key point there. It's Coalescence, where Coalescence should come up before any other ultimate here. And it's important that they take advantage of that window. Otherwise, XL2, if they can get Riptire up, they can start staggering out Legion pretty considerably.
And so now Corey, he spots out that Theresa, but he might actually stick with it. He doesn't go back to spawn. So now he's going to stick with it, and he's going to hope that his team can actually dislodge the members on the high ground here.
Oh, so close! Ooh. Almost had the Mercy in his sights. Instead, Dede goes, yeah, about that. Why don't you go back to spawn instead?
He even gets one on the retreat. Pooks falls. The Gods does answer back. Adam has fallen, but there's no one really to take advantage of this. They're going to be able to get Adam back as long as someone runs to the right-hand side. They'll be able to just go ahead and Guardian Angel him back into the team.
Now you see the Tracer and Corey moving around the off-skirts, and he's going to tell his team, hey, I'm ready. By the way, Megachu doesn't care about your ready signals. He throws in the tire, gets caught by Panker. What? What was that prediction? What? Okay, fair, balanced. Legion now moving in from the right side. Why not? Gets Goliath, and Legion now with a great opportunity to move in. Goliath's brought back up, but now it's up to Dede to try and get something done, but he's getting forced out by the pressure. Almost needs a fire strike to boot.
Yeah, he's even got Corey hot on his heels now, down to 5 HP. Will get taken out. Riptire once again coming up from Mangachu. We'll see if he gets anything with it. Rolf, though, trying his best to keep it at bay. Tire abated.
Tire abated. Legion still looking for the way in. They haven't quite broken XL2 Academy here yet. Expect to see Adam take to the skies here in a moment when the pressure gets a little more intense. And Legion, they're just waiting for respawns here before they fully commit, but they've given XL2 the time to breathe, the time to wait. The time to wait is now over. The wings are out for Adam, Valkyrie in the sky, but as this is going on, Mangachu gets Corey early on in this fight. XL2 Academy, their defense is solid, and Adam supports them all the while.
This is one of the most difficult things about trying to run a Zarya into this kind of composition, especially up against Theresa. With the triple tank, it's difficult to get the Orisa barrier down, and so that means Blase isn't able to get much damage across. That's why 2 minutes later, he still doesn't have his Graviton Surge. He's coming up on it very shortly, but you don't want a 2-minute grab.
Well, Panker gets caught early on here. It was mostly Mangachu's damage over the top. A little bit of aid from Goliath there. And now, XL2 just again holding form here. Only a minute 30 left for the Legion.
Yeah, Legion really don't have a plan for this. Panker went to Winston, and now he swapped back on over to the Reinhardt. They're just reacting, but here's another tire. Mangachu going in with it. Rolf clears it.
The Zarya shield there made Mangachu have to hold on for longer than they would have liked. That gave them the time they needed to get the tire, and now Legion moving in, but they lose to immediately. Mangachu dropping explosives from the sky, but Corey only gets the supercharger. That looked a lot more promising than it actually was.
A little disappointed at this end. Nene since swapped off on to that Tracer. Here we go. Gladiators, they're finally making some presence onto the point. Nene gets hooked in and deleted, but still they've lost Panker. And I think that was a little bit more than wishful thinking on the Legion's part.
Well, what we're seeing here is that the Legion just is not comfortable running the style compared to running Raw Dive, and I think Panker's enough. He just says, all right, I'm Monkey now. We are going Winston. We are going to try and do this by the book. They're down to the final 30 seconds. Oh, here we go. Tire on the way. Mangachu, again, aggressive buying time. Even if they stay back for 5 seconds here, it's sort of, this is time you lose, goes into the back line, and still finds Corey.
Still finds Corey, indeed. So now it's going to come down to Blase. He's got the Graviton Surge. He's been holding on to this for nearly 2 minutes now. The only thing he can really combo with is going to be Rolf on that Coalescence. They've been trying to build up to that for the last 4 minutes.
They got to touch a point. They barrier early. They get halted. They're going to get very low off the barrier except for the privilege of getting on the point. Blase under assault, healed up by the Colossus. Mangachu gets caught. One of the big threats is down. 2 down now as the Legion have perhaps found their way through. Mangachu, though, brought back up. Threat not actually out here just yet. Corey, though, on the flank, gets onto Goliath, and XL2 very much outflanked here in this final fight as Corey ends it with a bang. 2 go down the Pulse Bomb, and the Legion will be getting their crack on second.
That Graviton finally coming up for them at that point. Gladiators Legion now, they'll have the 4 additional minutes to capture point B. But it was really at the 11th hour they were able to just eke that out. Rolf swapping off now onto the Zenyatta. So this is where they're going to rely more upon dive. This is where Pinker can really start coming alive here on point B.
And also, even though Panker swapped to Winston there, I don't think his swap to Winston was the real reason they did. But hey, okay, God just goes, got a good shot here. Self-destruct does not quite connect, however. In fact, Gods pays the penalty. Midnight punishes him before he can get back into his mech. And Mangachu cleans up the scraps, runs him right over to the back.
Oh, Mangachu.
Junkrat, by the way.
Swift 4K, no problem, easy. So now Legions down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds here. They've got to build up a lot of ultimates for this. But because of the swaps that XL2 have made, they're actually behind now in the ultimate economy. But still, it's going to be Panker. I didn't want to say it's just Panker with the Primal Rage because of what we've seen out of him so far.
It's just a one-man wrecking crew as he, pounds and destroys.
And he's on home turf, right?
To a degree, but it's still going to be pretty rough for Legion here. Primal Rage or no, Gods decides to move on in, a little bit up and down action. Blase off the flank was low, ends up getting healed up. The orb is on him, and Goliath goes down. Panker found him in the chaos. An early pickoff now for the Legion, and this is exactly what they're looking for. Panker has the Anabionate on him, still able to stay alive, hunts down Mangachu for just measure, and suddenly the Legion have found their way through for point B, and we still might have ourselves a game.
Yeah, 2 ticks already secured. Goliath now pushing forward. He gets booped up into the air, isn't able to touch it. And so with that, Gladiators leave themselves 2 minutes and 20 seconds now.
So what we're going to see is the Gladiators, because they have less time in their bank, guess what? They get to attack again. And here's my question to you, Jamerson. Do they go with the Reinhardt, or do they say, you know what, we're going to be a one-trick team strategy-wise. We're just going to dive in and let Panker do what Panker does best?
They should just go with the dive. Blase had such a difficult time building up that Graviton surge and then finding the window of opportunity to actually use it. We saw him already hovering over the Genji for a split second there. On the defense, though, XL2, they don't really need to change anything up. But, yeah, they're going to have Mangachu on the Junkrat, Midnight and Clone Man, of course, on Diva, and that Orisa.
So you do see the change-ups here for Legion on the first attack. They were not a fan of the Reinhardt-powered offense, especially where I think it could have worked, but look, I don't even think we gave enough lip service for how good he was. That Mangachu's Junkrat was sublime. Sure, space is made from him for his team, but what he did with that was ridiculous. Just constant good kills, and even Riptires that were overly ambitious still managed to connect. So Mangachu, definitely a rat dominance here so far.
Yeah, every second matters, really, here. These 2 minutes and 26 seconds, 5 minutes and 25 seconds, I mean, that time difference, really, because it's Assault, can be inconsequential. I mean, we've seen the snowball on Assault maps just work great to so many teams' favors, and so it is going to be half dive coming out from Legion. Blase will be on the Sombra. Corey fancies his chances with this Widowmaker.
Legion moving on in right now, and they're going to be a lot more aggressive because they are running this Winston Diva comp. No longer they're just going to wait and let Mangachu play ball with them the entire time. And Legion, Corey's in the back, Panker's going to move on in. Panker gets focused but immediately backs off when he feels that focus coming in. By the way, Sombra on point, free tick. No, not quite. They pull off Midnight though. Now you don't have a Diva on your front line. The Legion's going to come in from the front.
Yeah, Legion are starting to push forward, and no, Adam might be caught out. The Sombra is right there. Goliath drops low, but they're able to keep their supports alive now. Nene on the point with that Widowmaker, almost takes out Rolf. Rolf is able to dodge that next shot, but now he takes to the skies, misses it.
You have to hit those shots as a Widowmaker. These are not shots where it's like, oh, I'll just miss. Like, no. Nene had an opportunity there, and his team might pay the price for the misses as Blase in off the flank gets Goliath. The threat in Panker is gone. And the res is up from Adam. Gets a safe res off as Mangachu continues making space and doing some squats at the same time.
I mean, you got to have strong legs if you want to carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no, that is totally
squats.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
You beat the other team and you work out at the same time.
Hey, he saw Puckett, right? I mean, he was doing like his lifts with his weights in between the matches during OWL. Always got to fit in time for some work.
We are busy professionals.
Yeah.
Whenever you can get a little bit of fitness time in is a good time, at least these are the excuses we come up with for Garden Variety teabagging. Anyways, Legion moving in the other side. Tyre coming out here from Mangachu. Off the other way. Tyre a little bit damaged, but not out of it here just yet. Waiting, 3 seconds, then back. Lucio in his sights. Lucio actually did a secondary fire, but finds Rolf instead. So Mangachu still connects, and only 30 seconds left for the Legion.
30 seconds remaining. Blase still trying to draw the forces back. So he has successfully forced them to jump off of the high ground, but they're going to regain it once again.
Back on the high ground. Nene with room to work. Didn't have the greatest Widow moment a little bit ago, but gets another chance. 13 seconds left here for the Legion in extra rounds. The final opportunity. And what they're going to do here, they're going to use Rolf. They're going to move in off the Transcendence, but they lose Pinker immediately. Mangachu with the most important pick possible. The Transcend is not able to save him. And even though Nene is gone, Legion gonna have to bust on through without their most important tank, and it does not appear to be happening. Blase EMPs, no follow through at all, and XL2 on the verge of holding the Legion right here.
Yeah, Mangachu just controlling so much space with that Junkrat, about to put a stop to Legion. They weren't able to even secure a tick so far. Panker with the Primal Rage is gonna try his best, but he's already dropped down to 200 HP, 0 HP. With it, XL2 now will have 5 minutes and 25 seconds to get this map win.
Mangachu on Junkrat has been sublime. Period. There's really no other words for what was going on there. It's not like Nene was going off. Nene actually had a fairly mediocre Widow game on the whole, but the engine behind everything was Mangachu and that Junkrat. And sure, Midnight and Cloman were able to make good space for him, but to capitalize to that degree was just nuts on the XL2 side.
And Panker, he just wasn't able to play that same kind of Winston because it is such a stationary style for XL2. It's difficult. If you try to go for that Winston, well, you're diving into a Junkrat, you're diving into traps, you're diving into a D.Va. And D.Va's pretty good because they've got the explosives of their own to try and melt down the Winston. Now, XL2, they've got shades of their first attack. Mangachu already hovering over that Mei.
Why not? You have 5.5 minutes. I mean, go Torbjorn Bastion for all it matters. You can just throw away the first 2 minutes of this game and
play Symmetra, you cowards. Come on, Glad.
I agree. Play Symmetra, cowards. I'm just gonna add emphasis to that because I think that is a beautiful point to add on here. I don't think we're gonna be seeing Symmetra.
No.
That's the message you said there. It's like, we're so confident we're gonna win this, we're running Symmetra.
We saw a little bit of that during Collegiate a few weeks back. But now here we go, XL2, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. You're gonna be running that same comp they did on their original offense. Mangachu with the Mei. See how well you can wall them off. And this is one of the great things. So they're not running the Orisa this time, so the Mei can't wall them off. They're gonna try and run this really proactive defense here, but there it is, the wall comes out and they're going for that high ground.
Again, they're just trying to control space as they move up here, and they can do that off the dive by freezing things where they're able to freeze gods out immediately. Fall through, not necessarily there, but remember, they're an offense. They have the advantage of respawns to a degree, and, well, good for them that they have that. As Mangachu's focusing in heavily on the tanks, demeched one, killed the other, and respawns are still on the way in, where, look, they almost got a tick in the chaos there.
Yeah.
So this is almost mission impossible for Legion to actually bring this back, as Blase going, oh, this is a nice wall. No, it's
There's a wall, yeah. Mangachu somehow survives that entire thing, jumped down into the middle of space, then went back on in. But yeah, that was so close. They almost had it. XL2 nearly had it, while Nene was just sitting on the point. So we'll see what happens if Nene actually decides to fight instead of just try and back cap the point.
Legion, again, fighting for the lives there, can't give up a tick. Pump in from Corey, does not connect. Coalescence now out for XL2, moving in from this right side. Mangachu gonna make things frosty. A blizzard here on the point. Panker unable to get away. Frozen out, no rage to save you this time. And he was like raging in that moment, it just didn't matter. Frozen out, here oh, did he just get blocked out mid-blade? Very possible. Blase, nowhere to go right now, comes in late, nano boost and all, and yet still winnable for Legion to accept. They haven't suffered critical damage here yet, even as XL2 threatens all the while. Yeah,
they were able to get rid of Adam during that entire fight, so they have stabilized it. As I say that though, great pulse bomb comes out from Nene. Pooks is gone. Now he has changed targets onto Rolf.
And Mangachu back on the point, full HP, gonna drop a wall because why not? And now he's just focusing again the tanks. Icicles into Mei, freezing out Panker on the side, finishes the kill onto Panker, and the Mei powered strategy, a little bit too frosty for the Legion. They're not known for their performance in cold environments, as XL2 takes a map and keeps themselves alive here in the series.
And no one really expects that Mei pick, and that Mei pick did come out to be pretty crucial. Panker didn't know how to deal with it, especially as that Winston, that freeze timing. It's so difficult to deal with because you never play against it.
Yeah, exactly. Panker's like, what is this hero? What is the... Why is she
Hero 28?
Why is she wearing a coat when it's otherwise warm out in the area? Oh, I'm frozen.
Well, that's like me too. I feel like I'm always wearing a coat. Something that I'm freezing all the time. One thing that was really impressive was Mangachu's like diversity in the heroes that he played. He played 3 different heroes in 3 so far that we've seen him, which is the Pharah, which he had a weaker showing on than he did last week. But then his Junkrat and his Mei, like you guys have said, has just been completely on point.
Well, welcome to the glory of Mangachu, where the problem that he has historically is that Pharah was his best hero, and it's still more of a specialized hero, so it's not an everyday thing. If he was as good on like a Tracer or Genji as he was on Pharah, he'd probably already be in OWL. Arguably, he was good enough to get picked up for OWL anyways and was sort of one of the people that fell into the cracks, but he made a good showing here tonight. Yeah,
Mei is also one of his secret pocket picks. He just never was able to pull it out because she was never really meta. I mean, there was a small window back last year when some teams did play her, but you get to see the strengths of it, especially with the new buffs.
And you see it here where, even though he was on Mei, his main goal...
Headshot.
Well, it was going for tanks and then headshotting Corey where possible, of course.
Right there.
He got Corey there, and just really good stuff from Mangachu.
There it is.
On the whole. Yeah. So, again, interesting stuff, especially as Mei has not really been explored too much by Contenders teams in this new patch, but Mangachu, always one for exploring new possibilities.
So XL2 really seemed to have a response for those, the 2 consecutive map losses at that first half of this match. Gladiators Legion, they won the second point. That was the only time that they really started to pull ahead. They were struggling at the beginning of it. They managed to turn it back around, but then they kind of fell off again. What was like the flow of that?
They just going in first for them was difficult. It's not really a friendly point to Winston Diva dive, and that's sort of what the Legion do is Winston Diva dive, and when you're going against a Junkrat or Theresa, it's not great. That's why they didn't want to open with it, but they weren't having any success on anything else.
Yeah, Point B definitely does play more towards Panker's playstyle. It's a lot more open. He has a lot more room to work with. He doesn't get really funneled in where a lot of poke can come out, and which we saw how potent the Mangachu poke was when he was on that Junkrat. That was the biggest issue that they were dealing with, but they didn't know really how they wanted to approach it either themselves because they were trying that triple tank composition with Blase on that Zarya, which I don't know. I feel like that did fall pretty flat on its face.
All right, well, Gladiators Legion has brought the fight to Dorado. Given the kind of the play style that we've seen so far from these 2 teams and the varied hero selections that we've been seeing, nobody's really getting glued to any one setup. How do you guys see this particular match going?
Dorado makes perfect sense if you are Gladiators Legion, because unlike Junkertown, where you can get away with gimmicky comps where you don't necessarily have to run a Winston Diva because you do crazy stuff like Theresa and actually make it work, good luck getting away with that here in Dorado. You have to play the Legion's game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this is such a great map for Winston. Throughout first, throughout second, third, it gets a little dicey. Now, maybe this is a map where XL2 actually can try to run Mangachu on that Mei. Again, that first choke point can be quite deadly, especially because it's so small. But I honestly feel like that Mei pick coming out from XL2 on Horizon was not practiced at all. It was just Mangachu saying, this is the pick. I just feel it. I'm going to try it.
I will freeze him, and we will shatter him.
All right, well, let's see what the choices are here for Dorado rolling into game.
Attackers.
Dorado, the best-built community from the Lumerico Corporation. Honestly, I wish every power company could be as good as them.
I just don't understand why... if you've got like a plant like Lumerico plant there, you'd imagine that like the city planning, the city like civil engineering would have been much better. Why are you building houses right on the edge of cliffs?
Well, the reason is so you can have pressure against the populace should they revolt. Wait, that wasn't in my script. Sorry. The reason is for scenic views brought to you by the Lumerico Corporation.
All right, so
we've recovered.
Legion on the offense here. They're gonna go, of course. One shade of purple coming up from Legion. It is the dive.
You can have any shade of purple, so long as it's slightly darker purple, which represents Winston Diva. I don't know, but for XL2, they're not going to try and play that game. They are playing the defensive Pharah, which is questionable here, but might be okay with what the Legion have started to roll out with.
Yeah, so Theresa, it's going to be Nene standing behind that shield on that Widowmaker now. Mangachu spots out Blase, forced to use all of his cooldowns just to escape him. Nene on the high ground here, so Blase's not going to be able to contest him for a short while.
Okay, in the back on Widow, again, just going to be looking to chunk down tanks here more than anything else here early on. The Legion just going, okay, we're going to stick on the payload. Come fight us on the payload at some point. Mangachu's in the sky all the while, and Mangachu from the sky dunks on Blase. That's going to let XL2 now move on in. Nothing too crazy for them, as you see Corey having the time of his life in the back as Nene just takes him down.
Yeah, Nene, he has nothing to worry about. He knows where everyone is coming from at this point. He knows exactly where all the targets are, all of his threats are. So he's just up there daring them to try and challenge him at all. He's just saying, come at me, bro.
And this is the best area for XL2 on defense period. Nothing's going to be better for them than the courtyard where you can get away with this. If they can get a hold on courtyards, their best winning condition here in Dorado, given what we know about both of these teams.
A lot of people also underestimate the halt, I would say, of Clone Man. Anytime Paker tries to jump in, there's that tool to try and stop him.
Early Valkyrie engage here by the Legion. The Legion trying to force the issue. Mangachu coming from the side. Barrage almost built up. Builds it up and drops it right down. 2 kills from Mangachu. Built up the barrage with the first rocket. Dropped the barrage on the second. And that is easy enough to deny the Legion as they opened up with the Valkyrie.
That was just such a great setup. Now, they did use 3 ultimates throughout that. The Coalescence along with the barrage and the visor. But Nene, without much to really challenge him, is going to be able to build up another one really quickly now. Blase decided maybe 76, but swaps right back onto that Genji. No, he's going to challenge Widowmaker. This is what he needs to do. Someone needs to apply pressure onto Nene.
Spoiler alert, I don't think he's doing it just because of Nene. I think someone needs to remove Mangachu from the sky a little bit more forcefully, and one of the ways to do that is a Widowmaker. However, even if Mangachu isn't picked off, it's going to limit how aggressive he can be here. Mangachu has to go back. I don't want to get picked off by Widow. So Blase, just by his very existence, makes things rough for XL2.
Self-destruct coming up from Gods. He tried to go for a cheeky angle, but it's Pinker who's able to get on top of Adam, and that's a huge pick-off now. So Mangachu doesn't have that pocket, is forced back. Pinker's going to take to the skies and take him out.
Panker continuing to pierce through him. Remember, Mangachu had to be further back because of the mere threat of another Widow. Nene takes down his counterpart, but damage has been done here as we still see the Legion moving on forward. Panker continues his rampage back and forth, to and fro, and Midnight, you've been... Oh, he got... Oh, killed him at the very end. More could be expected. More than what could be expected.
It's the light pistol of the omnipresent... omnipresent Midnight there to finally take him out. I mean, Panker was the omnipresent one. He was just all over the map, just finding target after target. But now, this is a much better position for the Gladiators to be in.
Well, not only that, but look at how XL2 is swapped. You can only keep off the more gimmicky Orisa stuff in Courtyard. Now they have to swap to a more standard thing, which Legion is going to be happy with. And now they move in. Legion not wasting any time, diving on in to begin with. And take a look at how this is opening up. Nene has to force back, not with the situation he'd like, has a Tracer in his face. Diva comes back up to support, so XL2 actually able to adapt to this dive from Legion pretty well. They reestablish and Nene back with a vantage point.
And this is welcome free ground for the Legion here, who were mostly stopped. Hager in the backline once again. Self-destruct isn't going to catch anyone because they got dislodged. There it is. Rolf starts it off. Midnight has fallen. Panker has fallen on the opposite end, though.
Nene got the pick off on the Blase, mid-flip, still managed to get the headshot, looking for more. Zenyatta in his sights. Takes a little bit of fire the other way, but it's going to be enough for XL2 to stabilize.
And now Legion with 2 minutes, they've made it to just below this bridge here, which is where a lot of teams do like to stop it on the defense. XL2 gives Nene some nice sight lines here, but it forces Legion. Do we want to try and approach from main? Do we want to approach from the coastal side? Looks like some of them are grouping on the coastal side.
Oh, they are going up that coastal right side. Mangachu, though, dives on in. Laid out about the same time as Transcendence. Can't do anything within the Transcendence, but finds Corey, who wasn't there. Ignored Zenyatta's prayer group, and he picks off 2. Mangachu going around the side and finished off Zenyatta just for good measure. Prayer time is over.
Here we go. We finally get to see Mangachu's Genji come out and instantly be effective now. Panker even caught out. He might just get delayed here.
Well, he does get delayed, and Mangachu gets to build up a little bit more laid for good measure. XL2 again, now 1 minute and 20 seconds away from a hold on second.
There are some great tools coming out for the Legion here. It's going to be Pinker with the Primal Rage, along with Blase, that Blade and Barrier up now. Lots of great synergies coming up from them. Well, they're struggling on the opposite end to try and get Goliath that much needed transcendence.
I do like the way they're engaging here. Now they're giving themselves all sight lines. Barrier comes in. Lasse goes into the vault, pulls out the blade. He's trying to get some booty in here and takes down 2. Both supports are out. The break into the vault area is successful, and the Legion now get the opening they've been looking for.
Mangachu focused down next, and so now Gladiators Legion will be able to continue to push this payload forward. They are doing a good job on XL2's side, stalling this out, but now as the respawns are coming in, this is actually entering dangerous territory for the Legion.
It is, because we've seen teams get gummed up here before, but kill after kill is going their way. It's Corey and Panker on the cleanup. They're not giving XL2 the breath of air that they need to bring this out. They're going to delay the Transcendence. Mangachu goes in, works with it, builds up the blade immediately, trying to strike back with Nene. Rolf already out of the fight. Can he get the extra support? Right now, focusing on Panker, who doesn't blink, just stands his ground and electrocutes Mangachu out of there. And yet Nene still doing work to the back, and this is good for XL2. They've damaged the Legion. Their respawns are closer. The self-destruct pushes Panker out, but 150 HP, he still fights in here. Is he gonna get at him? Support ends up coming in. He's still at 120 HP, still alive somehow, and finally is gonna fall, and that might be the death knell here for the Legion as XL2 defends on second.
It's absolutely astounding to watch Panker there. It just seems like he's got some, I don't know, extra agility on the Winston somehow, that he's not taking any damage. That last fight for the last minute, he survived with about 100 HP.
Are you saying I can stop bullets? No, what I'm saying is when you are ready, you will not have to, as just seemingly nothing hits Panker. There's like, yeah, it's like, sure, why not? Well,
And he is tapping into some otherworldly power at this point. He is breaking the game right now, but they were able to put a stop to the Legion. We're XL2, and now it's going to be their offense, and that's a great place to stop them, just shy of second.
well, the holds on second point Dorado have been very common over the course of Contenders here so far. It's actually very difficult to get through. Teams have gotten much better at staggering their defense, and frankly, I think we're heading to a map 5 here. I don't think the Legion did enough there. They got stalled out way too long on first. And the strike coming in from XL2 Academy here, where they get to run Mangachu on Pharah, the fact that he can run that here is just going to be so much better for XL2 Academy. I think unless the Legion get a lot of momentum on their side in the first 2 fights, I just see XL2 easily taking Courtyard and just riding it almost to victory on second.
Yeah, Mangachu has been doing a really great job of just abusing the roofs of Dorado here, just covering his own back, making sure that no one's able to get some free shots off onto him. And so now I'm surprised that Nene is going to stick with this Tracer. I'd like to see him open up with an offensive Widowmaker, because he's been landing his shots. He's been doing a great job on that sniper. This is really where you want to try and snowball, and you snowball by getting picks. So now, coming up from the defense, Legion, Blase on the Sombra. We'll see if he has what it takes to try and keep Mangachu's wings clipped.
The best way of doing that would be right at the beginning when the Pharah can't really get too far up above, but I just don't see the Sombra getting in on Mangachu that effectively. They are going to try and fight this very close up in the beginning, but again, Mangachu's working with the edge here. Doesn't actually have to worry about that much. Gets hacked, but look at the protection that he has here. It's not going to matter. He's going to go to the skies in a moment. Wow, they really want him dead when you have a Bionade and a hack. Kill the Pharah, please, but they're still not able to commit.
The hack once again comes out, and that is the focus. They want to make sure that Mangachu cannot play that Skybomb anymore, but he's still landing rockets. Panker dropped low, is able to make it back to the safety of his team, but he was super low.
I really would have just laughed hysterically if he got hit by another Bionade in rotation, but Blase gonna have it falling here. XL2, they back out, they bend, but they do not break. Now they can move back over to the payload. And Mangachu is in the skies once more, no longer getting hit.
Nano boost out onto Panker, but you saw the difficulty he had actually pushing forward. The payload's in that choke point. He's dropped low, he's got the heals up, down at about 150 HP. He is gonna get deleted. That's Midnight that hunts him down.
Midnight hunting him down. XL2 going even deeper. Nene and Mangachu leading the way with Clone Man in the fray. And they just get through the defense of the Legion rather easily here. This will be a quick first point take.
Going to be a quick first point take. Now XL2, 5 minutes on the clock for them just to get it shy of second point. We're going to go ahead and take that high ground away from the Legion here. Mangachu just getting some free rockets off, but he does have his barrage already, and Adam also has his Valkyrie. Doesn't quite have to do this, but he's just hoping that one damage boosted rocket lands onto Corey.
And it's a hope that oftentimes ends up being reality. He won't barrage here yet. He's waiting for Gods to get out of his grill. He doesn't want to do it in the beginning, but with Blase down, they're 6 on 5. They can go deeper and drops the barrage while Gods isn't looking. Gods has to change his focus to him, but it's enough to let Gods get demeched. It's a worthy sacrifice. He's going to be brought back up because he died in a good position. And XL2 continues their relentless assault. Nothing the Legion have thrown at them have worked.
Yeah, he didn't get the eliminations with it, but he did the damage. Both tanks, Gods and Panker, were dropped low, and they had Nene there and everyone else, Midnight, to follow up on that damage. So great play coming out from XL2.
Midnight almost considering going for a set bomb there. Instead, we just have an ambush. XL2 Academy on the left side going, okay, let's wait for the Legion to move in. They don't want to engage here just yet. They want to be full 6. They have people back on the payload. Midnight gets hacked. The focus on him coming in hot and fierce, and yet he's healed back up, still has a self-destruct, and oh, this could be a big one. Duck and cover, Legion. They have to go into the building to get through, and actually, they dealt with it pretty well. Meanwhile, of course, Panker's in the back buying space, and that was huge in the situation. He manages to even take down Midnight.
Gets the DMEC, almost paid his life for that price, but now we got the EMP. It's Blase who gets dropped by Goliath. Fortunately for him, the rest of his team is there to follow up. God's coming up with a triple kill there, and that will force back XL2, but take a look at how close the payload is. 6 meters away. XL2, they've got 3 minutes left. That's 2 meters per minute they need to push this.
It's not very far, although I will say, credit where credit is due, Panker just actually forced them back in a situation that should have been unrelenting pressure from XL2.
And now Corey on this Widowmaker. Gonna take the opposite side, high ground here, but XL2 pushing it from the coast. Nene gets tagged by a shot, but he survives. Now Corey's almost got the visor.
You can shoot the body all you want, but sometimes you gotta shoot the head. Not able to commit on it here is Corey. Body shots for days, which means that XL2 gets a heal up, but Clone Man gets cut out. Panker gonna finish him off in the moment, and now Corey has room to work with, finds Goliath, and the Legion hold on again, and 2.5 minutes from a counter hold.
2.5 minutes. XL2 still trying to build up their ultimates. Mangachu has swapped off on to that Genji, and why not? It's gonna come down to Panker again. He's got that Primal Rage. Pooks almost has the nano boost for him. They feel so inclined to use that.
XL2 is gonna open up with the Valkyrie. The goal here, let Adam spread his wings, gonna go in over the top, keep people nice and healthy. The problem is that he doesn't want to get picked off by Corey, so they need someone to be ready to neutralize Corey here in the beginning. They're just waiting, biding their time. You see Nene on the flank. That's going to let the front here move in, and this is a lot of time being used for XL2. They should have come in a little bit more aggressively, but this is what they wanted, right? Adam uses Valkyrie here because Corey's under pressure to the other side, but he's not able to keep Midnight alive. Midnight gets the mech nonetheless. Corey's still running for his life. Blase on the other side. Legion up, EMP in, drops on in, gonna take down Midnight, and Legion still looking okay on this defense.
Adam does bring Goliath back into this, but he pays the price as Pooks takes him out. Blade out now, but answered by Transcendence. Mangachu not gonna find anything of it, and so now with that attack squash, XL2 are left with 1 minute 10 seconds.
The rewind in an unfortunate spot ends up dropping him off, though the fight was over anyways. Final minute here, Jamerson.
Final minute. Legion can end out the series now, take the 3-1 victory. It's gonna come down to possibly one last fight. Nene and Midnight got both their bombs. Clone Man almost with that Primal Rage.
XL2, it's going to be super, super important that they move in with the Transcendence. It's an edge where they might not realize they have, but if they've been timing else, they should realize it's there. As Nene, he's actually hoping Blase comes in here. He might get his wish. Blase was low. Will he tap in there? It's not going to happen. Gladiators, they take down 2 before Goliath could even transcend. They'll have another shot here, Jamerson, but it's actually a very rough time for XL2.
This is a rough time indeed because Midnight just got staggered. He has to throw himself over the edge here. He's gonna have to make a mad dash just to rejoin his team for this final push now. That buys enough time for Pooks on Legion side to get that Nano boost up. Panker is probably going to be the recipient of it.
Oh, absolutely. You 100% throw this Nano Boost on the Panker, let him get Primal Rage up mid-fight for more delay. XL2, this opportunity not going to be nearly as good for them here. They open up the Transcendence, not wanting any risk. Clone Man looking for the knockoff to the side, doesn't quite get it, and of course it's Panker. Nano Boost in. They're going to give it to him when it matters most, and in the back, the self-destruct grabs Mangachu. Legion now a few more kills away from a counter hold to take out XL2 Academy in the series, and it's looking good.
It's just over-aggression coming out from XL2. Goliath charged forward with that Transcendent Zenyatta. And so once it ended, he was just waiting, arms open, was Panker to finish him off.
I thought for sure we were going to go to a map 5 here. XL2 is playing so well on their defense, and then what does Legion do after getting ruined on point A and through the beginning part of point B? They're like, actually, we feel real good on the last part of point B. We're going to hold.
So you, right at the very end of that, Jamerson, you spoke about the XL2's over-aggression, kind of like they were throwing Hail Marys. You want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
I mean, well, first off, they sent Goliath in, or excuse me, not Goliath. They sent in Clone Man. Primal Rage Winston to try and deal with Corey on the Widowmaker. That's not where you want to send a Primal Rage Winston. That is not proper allocation of your tools. Like, you should just be able to do enough as that Winston without using your Primal Rage to just make sure that Corey's not doing anything, but still, they committed way too much into that, pushed way far beyond anything that it really needed to do. They just need to fight on the point, allow Clone Man to try and go off by himself, not commit that Zenyatta at the front of the fight with that trance. Once that trance ended, you saw Panker was like, yeah, this is my target. I'm going to win this fight because you shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, and again, I mean, the early pickoff they suffered in the push before the final push, to me, was probably where they lost it, because coming in, they didn't have time to set up well. They just kind of had to roll in and hope things went well. And look, it's not going to go well in that situation.
Yeah.
Really, the fight to me was lost when you give them an early pickoff, when they had an edge. They could have transcended. They could have stayed around the point. It could have worked out well, but Overwatch is a chaotic game. Sometimes people get picked off, and those pickoffs can result in losses.
So you kind of already touched on it, but to put it in more concisely, I guess, or all at once, at one point you guys made the comment that they had 2 minutes per meter. They only had 2 meters left. There was 4 minutes left on the clock, and yet we saw as we saw the game kind of flipped on its head. What was the turning point? We had misallocation of ultimates, we had that kind of thing, but what was there a definitive turn?
I mean, I think the definitive turn was the fact that the payload turned into the second point, which is a really hard point to take. And it ends up being a point that, because of how it focuses on verticality, was really good for the Legion. I think the best chance for XL2 was to have crazy momentum through first and carry that in through second, because, look, this is a trend now, especially Contenders. We're not seeing teams get through second point Dorado with any form of consistency.
Well, I think across the board, it was obvious that, Mangachu's total just versatility, honestly, just versatility. Here he is on Pharah.
And yeah, in any other matchup, when you have a DPS this strong, it would have worked out in their favor, but it really was, I would say, that Winston matchup between Clone Man and Panker that showed a huge difference in their ability. Clone Man wants to play more of the Reinhardt style, while Panker wants to play that Winston, and because of the current state of the meta, it is going to be favoring Panker.
Well, one thing I would really point out in terms of a point where Panker probably saved the game for Legion is that XL2 is moving in with a lot of momentum. They opened up with a self-destruct over the top that was very close to clipping 2 people. That would have ended the game outright. And then you wonder, is like, well, why weren't they moving in after the self-destruct? And then we get a camera shot. We just see Panker like leaping from the bowels of the XL2 team. It's like, oh, that's why. And he still didn't die.
Yeah.
That's the stupid part about all this.
He's got like a secret passive when he plays him for some reason.
Yeah, like
right?
He's fighting 1v5 in the back, leaps away. It's like, aha, that's why they didn't push in.
Well, to no one's surprise, Panker is in fact our Old Spice player of the match. Let's check out the replay.
I mean, which one is it at this point, right?
Exactly.
Because this entire match was just a highlight reel
Beating
for
jail.
Panker here. Yeah.
I feel like the jail beatdown that's pretty sweet. I mean, he's in the cell.
You never put yourself in a jail cell when Panker is around. That's how ye get beaten.
Yeah, he owed that guy cigarettes or something, my lord.
Ooh.
All right, so overall, how did this matchup play out kind of to y'all's expectations or not to your expectations?
I thought this was going to be much closer. I thought this was going to go to the 5th map. We expected the fifth map, especially there on Dorado, but Legion, their tank play was just too much to handle. I was expecting, Blase and Corey to struggle a little bit on the DPS side up against someone like Nene and Mangachu, but again, Panker made up for that and made Blase and Corey really shine.
Mangachu had an incredible moment on Junkrat, which I think was actually more than I was expecting, despite his reputation on it. If you look back to Horizon, I would say it was sort of Nene for me, where he was a key part of XL2 doing well against Toronto last week, wasn't as good of a series for him. And sure, a lot of that probably has to do with the tank play, where he was challenged much more on the tank level, but still I expected more. And then you even saw that in points where he was on Widow, where he had open opportunities and didn't quite do as much as he probably should have done.
Yeah, and Nene definitely had a week.